how can somebody fly? People have been asking me all the time that I'm deceiving. And today I'm going to give you proof that somebody can fly. Because all you know is about Batman and Superman. All these people can't fly. Batman and Superman, they have never lived. Instead, Batman and Superman were developed after the Western world got to know that somebody can fly. My man R. Kelly is in prison with his song, I Believe I Can Fly, but you can see he can't fly, and you can see, God forbid, the law has caught up with him and he's not flying, he's languishing in jail. But who could fly? Who is that? How can somebody fly? Now, let's go back to our history. 15th century. The Banyoro were the biggest kingdom at that time in the Interlacustrine region. Buganda was a small region. By that time, Buganda only had Chadondo, Busiro, part of Chagwe. We didn't even have Maokota at that time. Piji was part of Bunyoro. Mitiana was part of Bunyoro. Luwero was part of Bunyoro. The Banyoro were all over us. So, during the reign of Nachibinge, Kabaka Nachibinge, the Banyoro attacked. Now this time they had attacked with a vengeance to wipe Buganda off the map, because we had previously attacked during Kabaka Kaima's time. We had attacked them in Bwera, which is Budu, but they had killed our king. So Nachibinge, Kabaka Nachibinge, the one with the gap in his teeth, he attacks. They attack him. So he gets advice from nowhere else but from Kabaka Chintu, who had lived 300 years before, that the only way you're going to fight these guys is if you go to Sese and get the Batwezi. And the Batwezi will give you warfare and you'll fight these guys. So quickly, Kabaka Nachibinge, he goes to Sese and he goes with the leader of the Ndiga clan. Now, when in Sese, the negotiations start, and in Sese, the king, remember, is Mukasa. Mukasa's father is Wanema. So when Mukasa gets this issue as a small matter, go and get military assistance from my father, Wanema. So Wanema is lame. Why is Wanema lame? Because he had fought for a woman. And he had fought for a woman with a man who had a dog. So this guy unleashes his dog on Wanema, and Wanema becomes lame. That's why it's called Wanema. Now this guy was banished from Sese, and he, as a memoir, as a gift to remember, Sese, this guy comes with a pot full of water, and when he walks in Mitiana somewhere, he falls asleep, and the pot breaks, and that's how Lake Wamala is formed. Okay, that man was called Wamala. So back to Sese now, Wanema receives this entourage, and he's like, okay, we are going to help you, but you must leave behind one of your princes, and you must make sure we are going to give you I'm going to give you my prince also, but you must give me your prince as well to stay here. I will give you back your prince if my prince comes back intact. So the king and this were like, can your prince fight the Banyan? He said, you mortals, we are Batwezi. There are things you can do which you can't do. So the king and these people, they jump on two boats, a bit frustrated, because when they told this boy to get into the boat, the boy says, hey, you guys, I can't step into your boats. I don't need boats. His name was Chobe Chomubazi. He was a Mchwezi. The man who could fly was a Mchwezi. Now, Chomubazi means a doctor. He was a doctor. So the Mchwezi gave us a doctor. They thought we had a medical problem. So many of the problems we find are probably medical. I don't know. So this man, he declines to step into the Baganda's boats. You know, Gabunga, the head of the Royal Navy, is there waiting with his fleet to bring back this hero. It declines. So the Baganda come back saying, now we've come all the way, we have no solution. We have committed to bring our prince. We must bring a fake prince. And that is probably why the Baganda sent a fake prince. Now, while they were coming back, they could feel a lot of wind. And one of them looked up to the sky. And up in the sky was this doctor boy flying over the lake. Chobe Chomubazi flew over Lake Narubale, which for some stupid reason we call Victoria. Who was that Victoria? What has Victoria got to do Amazima, I'm asking you Ugandans, why is the lake called Victoria? Did Victoria bathe there? Why is the lake named after that colonialist? We must wake up one day and give the lake our name. It's called Nalubale. So this boy flies over Lake Nalubale, and the Baganda, astounded, they look up and they say, Mama Kibuka, and they named him Kibuka. That is how you get that name Kibuka. So Kibuka now, remember Kibuka's father, Wanema, is of the Mamba clan. Kibuka is a brother to Thor Kiwanuka. Kibuka is a brother to the first black samurai. So they're a family of special kids, gifted kids. Mushoki is his brother. So he comes in and fights the Banyoro from the trees. Could fly, could move from tree to tree, could sharpen arrows and put insect poison and send down. He killed so many Banyoro. The Banyoro retreated tactfully to first analyze what was killing. They didn't expect this. And they took with them a few corpses. And when they looked at the corpses, what was killing the corpses was coming from above. So they knew this was not conventional Baganda warfare. So they needed to understand what was killing them. So they looked through their ranks and they got this woman. I don't know why they don't teach our kids about this woman. Her name was Lukowe, with the biggest behind, the biggest bum you can even think about. Some say she was a prostitute in the army, the Bunyoro army. So the first spy, no, there's another spy Bunyoro had in Egypt, not the first spy. So this spy, yes, that is the first spy, because the Bunyoro spy comes in later. This spy comes in and bonds. Remember, the spy is Munyoro. He bonds within the Baganda, celebrating, and that is when this young boy, Chobe Chomu Bazi Kibuka, eyes the big bum wobbling and dancing. The boy is overwhelmed. Remember, in Sicily, there are not very many women. So he makes his amorous advances. And of course, Kibuka is speaking Runyoro. And this woman is speaking Runyoro. So they bond immediately. So he's asking Kibuka, you tell me, you Baganda, or this Baganda, why are they killing the Banyoro? What is happening? I just want to know. We're going. I'll come and give you what you want. But tell me, Ko. So Kibuka is saying, if I tell you, will you give me what I want? I said, obviously. So they are proceeding to Kibuka's hut, and Kibuka narrates the entire story. You cannot rule out the fact that the man was intoxicated. Kibuka must have been drunk. So he tells this girl, he has fun. The boy is a young boy, he blacks out. This woman takes her bums back to Banyoro and tells the Banyoro, ooh la la. The Banyoro came with a vengeance. Where were they directing their spears? Up in the sky. The good thing with sending your spear up, if it hits nothing, it will come back to you. So they came throwing spears up in those trees, and voila, they got him. And when they got him, he started bleeding. He was a doctor, yes, but the spears were too many. So as he's bleeding, treating himself, because he traveled so many kilometers, coming back. So he went to the Mpiji, where there is the headquarters of the Ndiga clan. The Ndiga clan, the Ship clan, is the one which had negotiated to bring him from Sese. So he said, guys, here I am, I'm bleeding. But by this time he couldn't fly anymore. He was weak. So the Ndiga clan, they were not able to quickly take him back to Sese for treatment. So he dies out of the lack of blood. His blood ran out. And for those of you who don't know this story, you go to Mpiji town. You see, and this is why I'm appealing to, I don't know who, Buganda Kingdom, the Katikiro. You have been moving around telling people to grow coffee. Yes, but not everybody can grow coffee. We have sites and stories related to our rich heritage, where we just have to put monuments, especially these sites which are along the main roads. Money is going through Buganda. People are going to watch game parks. We no longer have game parks here. But they would want to stop and PG to listen to this story. But voila, the area in charge of tourism has put up a signpost, a crowded signpost, which you will see. I don't think it can convince anybody to. We need a big sculpture of a flying man and humps to say, guys, If you want to know about a flying man, the origin of Batman, the origin of Superman, you have to stop in PG. And that way, that PG economy will boom because people come and spend on crafts, food, etc. But we've neglected it. Now, that story doesn't end there. When he died, on which he died, and if you go and get a break of a piece, you can see his blood. In the light, you can see Kibuka's blood. And if you want to see, I have a piece here at Semagulu Museum. If you want to see Kibuka's blood, you can come and see it here. So when the British came, they had this story. It was overwhelming. You go to Mpiji, the border man, if there are any prostitutes, the barman, everybody's talking about, even the kids, they know about this story. So they go and exhume his bones and they take them to their best university at Cambridge. And they start to imagine how somebody can fly. How come it is not them who are flying? How come it is these Bachwes in Buganda who are flying all over the place? And from imagining how somebody can fly, that is how you get the concepts of Batman and Superman. And there's something I'm still researching on. That is around the time when the first planes were made. By imagining how somebody could fly, artists started drawing a flying object using the picture of a man flying. That is why aeroplanes on Earth, they have wings, like a human flying. The planes which are not made on Earth, they are saucers. The UFOs, they come with round things like this, which have, because they didn't know Kibuka. So Kibuka, if you don't know about this story, you come here. If you want to know more, you go to Mpiji. You go to Mpiji, Mpiji town, and go to the tree. Next to that tree, there is a school called Kibuka, Kibuka Memorial. There is a teacher there called Higenyi. Higenyi is the head of history at Kibuka. There is a headmistress there who knows this story. You go and ask the locals, they'll confirm to you. And if you want to confirm even further, you go to Sese Islands. To jump and to fly, he needed a launch pad. So he went on top a certain hill in Sese Islands, on the island you like to call Kalangala. Although it's not called Kalangala, it has another name, but that's a story for another day. So he gets atop a hill, and that's where he leaps. Up to today, these people who grow palm oil, they built their factory there. And the locals told them, guys, that is a special hill. That is the hill on which our man leaped to jump. We need to undertake some rituals for you to cleanse it such that you can build whatever you want to build. They said, watch, your stories are rubbish. Some of you watching this story think I'm lying. So they built a guest house. The locals there call it Museveni's house. You go and see. Every night, the doors are going to open. And even if you mop it dry, you'll find rain inside. It is a no-go area. The locals, they will show you Museveni's house. That is where this boy stepped and leaped all the way to Buganda. Okay, and the Mamba clan has many names. There are many names related to this guy because he was from the Mamba clan. That's another story for another day. And speaking about names, somebody called Semakula wanted to know the meaning of his name. I think you Lugave people, you're just lazy. I've written a book called The Names and Meanings of the Lugave Clan. You have such a rich history. I had a function here at Semaguru where I invited all of you to come and get copies and get to know your history. You're called Semakula Katende, this beautiful lady on BBS TV. No, her name comes from taxation. Nabatanzi. All those Lugave people. You come and get a book. But for you, and this is dedicated to Message Semakula, who sings very good songs, by the way. Kanyimbiro Mutanda, what? You know? I like that man. I've never met him. I wish one day he can come here. He sings very good songs. That Message. There's no Kumasula Ring. Very decent man. So Message, this is for you. You are called Semakula because on the day you are born, you are such a wonder. You are such a wonder for your parents to look at. You are so handsome. When your parents looked at you, they're like, oh, Lava Makula Gano. So they named you Semakula because you're handsome. You're such a wonder. You know, the Baganda take a makula to the king. Unforced voluntary gifts that we give to the king are called a makula. So it is when you're taking a makula, you can't take the smallest goat. You can't take the smallest cow. You take your fattest cow. You offer your children to work in the palace because they are tall and strong. They can wrestle. You take the best of the species. That is what a makula means. And that is what the word Semakula means. And that is how the word Namakula was derived. So if you belong to the Lugave clan, Katende, this guy who presents on Kaliso Liso in the morning, Abe Muchivi, if you're called Muchivi, you come, I tell you why you're called Muchivi, you're called Nanchinga, all those common Lugave names, Ndugwa, I've already told you Katamba. You come and get a copy from me. Come and get to know why you're so called. So that's a story of the flying man, Kibuka.